So a couple weeks ago I made this blank, and it's got a lot of clear resin, and it's got shamrock glitter as well as the easy inlay gold leaf in it. And the thing about this is, if you're going to be making a tubed pen kit, all of those clear areas are going to be totally see-through, and you're going to see that tube as well as glue splotches from gluing the tube in for the tubed pen kits. And so what do you do about that? And the answer is you got to paint the inside of the actual blank itself, not just the tube. If you paint the tube and then glue it in, you're still going to see the glue splotches, although the tube's not going to look like the ugly brass, that you might see, but you're still going to see the ugly glue splotches, which don't look good. And so this is really specifically for highly transparent blanks, like if it's dead clear or if you just tinted the resin but there's no mica powders in there, that's when this is necessary. If you're talking about a blank that has mica powder in it that just might be, you didn't add a lot of mica powder in there and you may be able to kind of see through. So like semi-translucent blanks, in that case, painting the tube itself only, that's going to do the job. All you want to do is just cover up that gold that would kind of shine through the mica color. But in this case, you're going to see everything. It's like the warts and everything are exposed. So I'm just going to show what I do. It's very simple. I'm going to throw some video up of me doing this. But what I do is I'm going to drill out, cut this into my tube lengths. Then I'm going to drill it out for the tube. And what I do is I'm just going to take a can of spray paint. And I try to find the ones that say paint and primer all in one. I just get what I use. It's just because it's convenient. I go to Home Depot and get the Krylon. So I grab that, and what I do is I'm just going to douse the inside of that hole with the spray paint. Just shoot it straight in there, and then let it kind of drip out, and then let it, set it aside to dry. I'm going to let it dry definitely overnight. I might even pop it in the oven to kind of accelerate that. You don't want to make it too high heat, but maybe 130 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. And so I'm going to wait at least 1 day, maybe 2 days, just to make sure that spray paint's dry. Then I'm going to glue my tubes in, and you have a nice even coating of the paint. This is, in the past, I've used, just acrylic paints or model paints. I've even used spray paint sprayed into a cup. I got this trick from OJ over at OJ Woodworking Crafts. You just spray some spray paint into a cup and then use a brush to paint on the inside. The problem is I found that you had to put at least 2 coats on to do that, and you still might have missed some areas. Just dousing it with a spray can, that is the best way to get full coverage that I've found, at least personally. So that's all that I do. But you want to wait for that paint to fully dry. It doesn't matter which type of paint you use or what method. Definitely wait till it fully, cures up. Now, what I found, why I also like spray paint, is it's very thin. Compared to in the past, I've used acrylic paints, and that stuff's super thick. To the point where you're probably going to have to actually drill a very slightly bigger hole than normal, and that's just not very fun. So for the most part with spray paints, as long as you let that fully drip out and don't leave a bunch of it blobbed up in there, you should be good with the standard drill sizes. All right, so it's been a couple days, and these guys are pretty well cured up, I think. I actually did bake them in the oven for a little bit. That'll help accelerate the full cure for your paint. Won't hurt the blanks either. So I put it in the oven for about 4 hours, somewhere between like 130 and 150 Fahrenheit. This thing kind of fluctuates, so kind of a range there. But everything's looking pretty good, and what I've done is I've wiped off the outside so that I can see through and just see if there's any spots that kind of are uncovered, exposed. And everything's looking pretty good, I think. I didn't see any spots that I need to touch up. Now, if you need to come back and touch up an area, cover something up, I would probably use the spray paint in a cup. So like spray some spray paint in a cup, grab a paintbrush or maybe a Q-tip, and just kind of cover up any areas that are a little bit thinner or exposed in there. And you should be good to go. But again, after you do that, if you have to touch up, then you're going to want to wait a few days, maybe do the baking thing. So the next step is we need to glue tubes in. And I like to use tubes that are painted the same color. It just gives you that second layer of, if there are any exposed areas that you didn't see. Or one thing that can happen is when you're gluing the tubes in, you can maybe peel off some of that paint. You got a pretty tight hole, especially if the drill bit was really, if the hole in here is really pretty tight on the tube, then there's not a lot of room, and you've just added more material in there that the tubes have to go in. And realistically, these are going to be a little bit, close, let's say. So you could scrape some off, and it's just best to have that second layer of the same color. Now, on these, I think the brass tube, even if you could see through it, because there's gold flake in here, I don't really know that it would really stick out that much, but best to go, the safe route, I think. So I'm going to be turning this up on the live stream on St. Patrick's Day, actually, and this video is coming out after that. So if you want to see how this pen turns out, I'll have a link on the screen and down in the show notes so you can watch that. You might want to just kind of skip to the end if you don't want to watch the whole, live stream. So just skip to the end and see the results. And so last thing that I want to say is that this is the best way that I've found so far that works best for me. It's most consistent. It's kind of the easiest. I'm definitely not saying this is the best way to do this. There's lots of different ways to do it. And, the name of the game with anything is you just got to figure out which way works best for you. So I'm going to kind of throw it out there to you guys. I don't even turn that many pens necessarily. I make blanks, really. I'm not like a production pen turner. So I know a lot of you guys probably have more experience than I do at this. If you have any kind of rock solid ways of doing this that are consistent, give you good results, or maybe like little tools or tips or anything like that you can share, leave those down in the comments. I'd love to hear that. I'm always trying to learn more. Like I said, I'm sure there's better ways to do this than I've come up with. It's just, this is the easiest way that I've found so far. So I can't wait to see what you guys have as your, ideas and tips. So I guess that's about it. Last thing, don't forget, I got an ebook. If you're thinking about getting into resin casting and you're not really sure where to begin, check out my ebook, The Beginner's Guide to Resin Casting. It answers all those beginner questions like, what are the different types of resins? What tools and supplies do I need to get started? It'll help you get over that initial learning curve so you can get in the shop and start doing some resin cast projects of your own. It's available on my website if you're interested. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching this video and happy casting.